Go on, Shaq.
Okay, do you want to just go ahead and get into it? I mean, we can exchange pleasantries. I'm fine, you're fine, we're all fine. Not everybody's fine. You want to get into it?
Because I'm not fine, Shaq.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not.
not
I'm not
fine.
fine. Oh man, I never seen so many of my friends making jokes. And
Oh, yeah.
like my mind was like, Gastor, you're supposed to be doing this, but my heart couldn't, Shaq. I couldn't write anything. It just it bothered me deeply.
Yes, I understand. I understand. It's a lot. Like,
It's not right. I
it's
mean, it's right. It's the right thing. It
no,
should
it's
be
right. Yes, it's right.
happening. It's very much what should be happening. But my goodness. Oh man.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's just dive right in.
Oh man.
Hi everybody. This we are recording a day after. Has it been 1 day or 2 days?
It feels like a year, Shaq.
Yeah, not long after uh Sean Diddy Combs uh had federal agents executing search warrants on two of his residences, one in Miami and one in LA, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that right? And so uh, you've got the story here, so I'm just going to go ahead and start
Yeah.
reading it
Yeah,
because
I need you today, Shaq.
yeah, I know you're having a hard time. Um, Search warrant activity at homes belonging to musician and producer Sean Diddy Combs on Monday is related to an ongoing sex trafficking investigation, a law enforcement source told CNN. The source would not specify whether Combs himself was the specific target, citing the sensitive nature of the investigation. Responding to reports of raids at homes belonging to Combs, the Department of Homeland Security Investigations, New York, confirmed that it had executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation. Law enforcement could be seen Monday at two of Combs' homes, one in the Miami area and one in Los Angeles, according to CNN journalists on site. Um, HCI, is that a TV show? HCI? It should be. HCI New York. That's absolute. That's got to be that's already titled HCI. Anyway, HCI New York said it acted with assistance from HCI Los Angeles, HCI Miami, and all the other shows that are on CBS. We will provide further information as it becomes available, the law enforcement department told CNN. Um, it is not clear yet if Combs or other residences are targets of law enforcement action. CNN has reached out to representatives for Combs for comments, but there's lots of aerial footage showing multiple armed law enforcement officers walking the grounds of the property. Um, let's see. Combs, 54, founded the music label Bad Boy in 1993 and has gone by stage names Puff Daddy and Diddy, as well as Love and did he go by Brother Love?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh boy. Credited with work that is regarded as instrumental in the growth of the hip hop genre. Combs has won 3 Grammys in his career. That's all. Along with 14 nominations. Damn, the Grammys don't love us at all. Anyway,
Word. Yeah, hey, yo,
I
come
mean,
on. What
that's
is that?
like and he produced too. I feel like he'd have
Yeah.
whatever. Okay. While he achieved initial success with his music, Combs also became a notable producer as well as an entrepreneur. Um, though it's not known if Monday's law enforcement action is related, the event follows months of controversy for Combs. You think this has nothing to do with what's been going on? Come on, CNN. I guess you have to say that. In November 2023, Combs settled a suit brought by his former girlfriend, singer Cassandra Cassie Ventura, who alleged she was raped and subject to years of repeated physical and other abuses by Combs. Weeks later, at least two other civil lawsuits were filed in New York against Combs with allegations of sexual assault, including one filed in December in federal court that also included allegations of sex trafficking. I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and legacy, Combs said in a response to the December suit. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. He was accused of sexual assault and harassment in another civil lawsuit filed by a former male employee last month, claims which Combs, through his attorney, denied. So that's the CNN report of it. Um,
Mhm.
but then the streets, like
Yo, it just kept coming from everywhere.
the streets were working overtime to make so many connections.
Oh my god.
It
There
was
was this I haven't even heard the name Cuba Gooding in years. And he's in like they was just like, yo, Cuba Gooding's in the law. You know, Harry is getting sued too. Like everybody's named in these suits.
right. And
How?
so I think first of all, I feel like I should say that if be it the FBI or the Department of Homeland Security or HSI Las Vegas or whoever it is comes knocking at your door with search warrants, they probably have a case.
Yeah.
It's not always like Law and Order, which by the way, I have a lot of law like knowledge and it all comes from Law and Order Original Recipe.
Okay.
All of it. All of it.
It's solid.
I've never been in the system, so I know nothing,
I
but I
put that
know
up
a
against
lot.
NYU law.
Yeah.
Real talk.
No.
Cornell got nothing on that show.
No, absolutely. Yo, I yell at it now just like, "How do you not oh, goodness, don't you watch your own show?" Um, so that is what a lot of my generalization will be based on. Take that with a huge salt lick,
Hey,
not just a
mine's
grain of salt, a
all
huge
my
salt
law
lick.
experiences from suits. So you got me beat.
Okay, so yeah.
So I'm supposed to gel my hair or something? I don't know.
Right, exactly. So that's where we're coming from with this. But so it's not a good look. I think is the biggest understatement of the year already, and it's March. It's not a good look. Um so I guess that they have cuz I didn't look through I looked at most of the Cassie like the
Right.
paperwork on that one. And that one it had a trigger warning, which I was like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
I've never seen that before." Um that was hardcore in a way that I was just like, "Yuck. I don't want to know
Right.
anymore." And so I didn't look at the most recent suit by the male employee. But the streets made all kinds of connections. First, since that one dropped like a month ago, people have been um like talking shit about Diddy in a way that is borderline, if not full on homophobic, which I do not
Yeah.
agree with.
Yeah, I don't vibe with that.
That's bullshit. Diddy does so much. He gives you so many reasons to hate him
Yeah.
that homophobia is your problem, not his
Real
problem.
talk. That's one of the few things that was going for him still. I was like, okay, he's open minded. You know what I mean? Like look how forward this guy was with his sexuality since the 90s. It's beautiful. Like
Sure. Yeah, that's look at man.
I'm
The amount
trying
of
so hard
spin,
to be positive, Shot.
the
Trying.
amount of spin you have had to do over the last few months must have been amazing.
Oh my God. It's a
Eh,
challenge.
yeah, because
Challenge, yo.
and I don't know what what are the documents that Prince Harry has been named in, just like people who
It,
have been around
yeah,
at
like he's been named in
times.
lawsuits. Yeah, like it's not saying that he did anything, but that like he was at stuff.
Okay.
The Cuba Gooding stuff though is like naming him as like another person involved. Like
Okay.
there was like a producer that said that he was harassed by Cuba. Again, more like a lot, and a part of the reason that's came up is again because of a lot of the anti LGBTQ lyric that's come out because the producer was a male. Um, so same idea. That's kind of why that one really popped. But
Mm,
yeah, and the Meek Mill stuff, same thing. Like he was
yes.
in, yeah, like it's just eh,
Wait, is the thought that Meek Mills was helping Diddy with the whole trafficking possibility. Allegedly. I cannot say allegedly enough on this show, by the way.
Yeah, real talk, be just alleged all of it, like real
All of
talk.
it, everything. My
We
whole
might not even be
existence is a
Gastor and Shalewa. Real
yeah,
talk. This
we're not
is
allegedly.
real talk, allegedly. Real talk.
This could all be AI. We know
Real talk.
nothing.
This is the battle essay, not the war report, okay? You know what I mean? It cover all
Yo.
right now, yo.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, yeah, I feel like I didn't even know some of these people knew each other. Like, I'm blown away by the connections they're making.
Yeah. I think um I think it's just Diddy threw a lot of parties and a lot of people went.
Yeah,
Like I think that's going to be Harry's thing. Is that I think it's just here's you want to know how big these parties were? Prince Harry and Prince William were there cuz they both were at they threw
word.
some kind of show for their mom and I believe Diddy was there.
I feel like that's his defense if
Who's?
I'm Diddy,
Oh.
in that the party was so big that there are people there that like I heard they were there, but
Oh,
I didn't know. So
you think Diddy's going to throw Prince Harry under the bus?
no, not.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
saying that like the fact that all these people are gonna be like, yo, I didn't even see Puff. I was just at the party. It was his party, I heard, but like
Right.
it was popping. That's part of his argument. He could be like, yeah, like I threw a party, 3,000 people showed up. I didn't see the craziness that people are describing. You're
Mhm.
right. It might have went down in my party. Like there was coke being used, but I didn't do the coke. I didn't bring the coke. It's
Okay.
just 3,000 people it is. So yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff went down at my crib. I'm sure. I'm
Mhm.
sorry I didn't co-sign it, but
Yeah.
when there's 3,000 people, I can't stop it, you
Sure.
know?
That is not going to be enough.
Real talk, yo. Be
I
like,
didn't I didn't invite the college kids. This
real
was a
talk.
party for high school kids only. I didn't tell royalty to come. That is not going to be enough.
Come
Get
on,
out of
Diddy.
here. Get out of here. No,
It'd be
that's not
wild. He'd be like, I ain't invite them, but like, yeah, I gave them my Wi-Fi password. No?
yeah, no. That's not Yeah, I don't think that's going to help him. I don't think. Um
Diddy, I'm
uh
gonna just keep throwing out ways you can fight this, bro.
No, you can't fight this, bruh. You can't. It's your nature, I think. I think, there's some darkness in you, and this is, how it chose to came out, and it is an extremely sad state of affairs. Um
Like, this hurt shot? Cause like literally yesterday, I was talking with Aiden about Aiden's been asking me a lot of like developmental questions, like becoming about maturity and like becoming a better man and it's genuinely like impressed me his growth like over the
Right,
last like 6 months.
right.
And yesterday we were talking about like being disciplined and why I think it works. And I told them that like in the grand scheme of things, I feel like everybody should be uh going after a thing they love, and if they do that thing to their best, all of society benefits because then we'd all have the best of everybody at their thing, like we'd have the best burger maker or the best doctor because they're in love with their craft and they're pursuing it to their peak. And he asked a valid question. He was like,
Mhm.
I don't know if I want everyone doing that, Dad, because then there'd be bad people pursuing the evil to their peak.
Mm.
And I
Yeah,
said, that's fair, and I was like, he's like, I do think there's bad people that genuinely would do that. But I told them that like I genuinely believe in the human spirit. I feel like, and I asked him, I was like, when you do something bad afterward, do you feel good or bad for it? And he was like, honestly, I feel bad. He's exactly. I was like, I feel like most people are like that. Even when they're angry and they do something shitty, right after they feel terrible about it and they don't want to do it. And I feel like most people want to feel good. So we'll pursue good. And that's what keeps us moving forward. And he was like,
yeah. How
so
do
like, I'm hoping, I was like, how did Diddy keep doing all this shit? Like you,
because it feels good to him. This is where that kind of falls apart, is that there's no baseline for good. There's a baseline for good that for the most part we follow because it's been written, like, in the Bible and laws have codified it.
Right.
So we know basically that. But as far as individuals, and energy and spirit and all of this other metaphysical stuff, that cannot be. There are people who are doing the right thing and they know they're doing the right thing, and but what would feel good for them is something else, but they understand that they can't do that in the general populace. So they fight
Wow.
that urge all the time. And those people are walk amongst us all the time.
Yo,
So you can't so yeah, like, um, like, yeah, it's just not possible. Some of
like,
it for some people, it's like a fantasy and they're like, I don't think I'll ever live this out. And that's fine if you don't have the means to live it out and you can only take that in a fantasy way. But if you have the means to live out that shit,
roughly $1 billion. Yeah.
I don't know, bruh. Who's gonna say no to you? Because unfortunately, in this capitalistic society, you throw them a couple of ducats and they're like, "I mean, I guess carry on, nigga." So, like, it's not yeah, it's
Oh,
not
it's
yeah.
it's shit like it broke me because it's like it goes against so much of what I believe in, like the the human spirit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I feel like yeah, like there's just so much about this like whole story that like messes with me as a person. Like like he had genuine success doing something super fun that every kid in my neighborhood wanted to do, like making music, throwing parties. As I grew up, he kept finding ways to do the fun version of that for like that age group. Yo, I don't know a dude my age that didn't drink Ciroc
Right.
at some point. There's better vodka, but like we drank it.
Right.
We made Coco Loso, like that shit was popping. I know I wore velour suits. I got too many of them. You know what I mean? Like he just kept finding a way to make it cool to be whatever age and era he was,
Mhm.
and it felt like a good thing, like good energy.
We've talked about this before and you've
Yeah,
said this before, and I marvel because as soon as you say it, I'm like, I gotta tell you, that dude has bothered me from jump.
yeah, I
His
hear
energy has been trash to me from jump. And that's wild that you know what I mean? What you see and how you interact and that kind of stuff. I mean, yes, I've heard the songs. Those aren't necessarily the kind of parties that I would want to go to, but I mean, sure, he produced songs that are catchy that I enjoyed. But man, once he starts talking and doing his weird shoulder dance and take that, and I'm like, that okay, nah, nah.
that's
He just seemed evil. And then when you see how he would interact with people, I think like watch how you interact with someone else, not
yeah,
so much what you want to do for yourself and doing the best, being the best of whatever, and being a good person, all that stuff. Watch how you interact with other people because that to me says more than you know what I mean? Watch how someone interacts with like a a server,
right, right,
or a retail person. Watch how they interact with folks who are sup maybe beneath them. But if you're the kind of person that thinks everyone's beneath you, what's that? You know what I mean?
that's fair, that's fair.
Yeah.
And
So
but so then my other argument would be until I still will argue even that I don't think there was ever a point where Diddy was so big where I feel like where I'm blown away by the lack of people that would have spoken out until maybe the last like 15 years outside of like Jaguar Wright. Like
mhm.
most people just kind of kept him moving or only spoke positively of him unless you were signed to him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Like
mean
that like blows my mind that like yo, all of y'all was seeing this, and nobody was like, yo, he ain't all that. Like,
Yeah, but we see that time and time again. That's for anyone who has some sort of power, but is also a shitty person. Like, look to comedy, my man. Look to comedy.
yo,
Why do we have seminars about cancel culture now? Because of what was born from sacred cows actually being terrible people and folks looking away and not saying anything. 'Cause
mm-mm,
it takes guts, it takes guts, and that person has a lot of power and could destroy you, and
right.
chances are, if you are the only person strong enough to speak out about what this dude is doing, um, and there's a power imbalance, chances are, if they're doing something terrible, they will destroy you for even being brave enough to do that.
That's
Like,
fair.
you know? So, yeah,
Like,
no, I absolutely yeah, everyone coming out of the woodwork like, "Yeah, nah, you should have seen." Yes, absolutely believe that. We've seen that on so many different scales just in comedy alone, from Bill Cosby to CK to fucking dudes that we've done shows with.
I just kick people off the show. Like, I do it all the time. I book somebody, and somebody, hey, you heard such and such did this, this, and this. I say word. I get a cosign. Yup, that happened. Cool. That person ain't on my show no more. I give them a
You are a rarity,
straight up,
Gastor. You
and
are
I get
also like 6'2".
a
Do you know
yo,
what I mean?
shot on the real. I've even had that phone call. Like somebody called me, yo, you took me off the show, yeah, because you did such and such.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Nah, but like, there's no nah, but like, I can't have you on the show.
Yeah, you're a rarity. You're a rarity, Gastor. That's when you're keeping it real goes right. You know what I mean? Like, but not everyone can do that. Do you understand? Like, I to me that I would just be like, I say, hey, sorry, we overbooked. I'm not sure. I'll let you know when our next spots are or anything like that. I do anything to like push him off. I would not have the conversation because I don't feel like having someone uh dox me.
See,
'Cause we're yeah,
okay,
we're coming at it from 2 toe like,
yeah, that's
yeah,
real.
yeah, that's the end of you know what I mean? Like, now everybody knows where I am and all this other shit. People
Yeah.
like, that's a totally different thing.
See, I welcome that. I'm all about that. You want, yo, I out dox the shit out of your docs. Let's go. Real talk. I'll get
Uh,
doxes all day. Let's dox.
yeah,
Real talk.
that's not the same. That's not the same when they decide to send SWAT teams
Yeah. Now I don't got
to
SWAT docs.
your
That's another level.
to your family and all that kinda shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it especially,
They
you
get
know
wild.
yeah, they get wild, and they get wild on people get wild on women
Yeah.
commenting on anything,
And
let
that
alone
yeah,
yeah,
and that admittedly, that's part of why I feel so adamant of being like that, because I know that there's people that don't feel comfortable doing it. So I'm like, yeah, like if I hear it, I'm super loud about it. Like,
right.
so and I've welcomed every convo. I've done this 4 times on my monthly on Sandwich, where
Mhm.
we've booked someone and we've had to kick them off because they did some nonsense. Always a he, by the way. I don't even gotta
Yeah,
pretend
no, 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 I
to
feel like that should be understood. We can
real
just
talk.
use the he pronoun because
I was trying to be like, oh, this isn't a time where we need to be fair
yeah,
and
no,
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 this
yeah.
is always a he. Uh, but like I'll get like a DM from like a person and they'll be like, hey, like this happened to me or I heard about this. I'm not saying do anything, but just something to consider. So I'll ask them more, I'll get research. And if I get like, yeah, if I start getting cosigns, if I get 2, I tell you I can't have you on the show because I'm hearing stuff. If
Right,
I get 3, I tell you, like, you can't be on the show because you do this.
right.
And yo, and I straight up, I did that literally 4 months ago. I told someone like, "Yo, I can't have you on the show. Why not? Because these people feel uncomfortable because you did this to their friend."
Mm.
And
Yeah.
he was like, "Can we talk about it? You can call me." I gave him my number. He called, "Yo, what's up?" I was like, everything I stated in the text. I'm telling you, like, like I can't have you on the show. It just is what it is, my G.
Mhm.
And he's like, all right. And he's like, can we talk about? I'm like, yo, if you find a way to undo that,
Right. If you can
like,
turn back time,
real talk. Like, we
yeah,
got
and not
like
do
at that
that.
point, you should focus on not comedy. You've discovered a new thing. Real talk. Focus on that. Focus on how to redo the world. That's beautiful that you have that Back to the Future in you. But
Mhm.
like, your focus shouldn't be on this. You should go be a better person. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, that's where you should be at. I straight up, I had a whole like come to Jesus with that dude.
Right.
Like, yo, this ain't, this is what, like, but like, I don't know. I don't know what your reclamation story is. I could tell you that I'm not gonna be a part of it. You know
Right.
what I mean? I'm not booking you on the show. I'm not booking you on my other show. I'm not co-signing you. You know what I mean? Like I was just sort of like, I don't even wish you the best. Like, I'm like,
Wow.
straight up. I was like, yo, just like, yeah, I was just like, yo, go on existing. And like so many of my exits and my convo platitudes are positive. That
Right.
like it's noticeable when like I'm being not that. Like,
Yes.
so like I want them to know, like, yo, like you fucked up as a person, you know what I mean? Not just as a
Mhm.
comic. And I feel ultra comfortable doing that because
Right.
again, I don't want any of that around me. I don't want any of that existing more so. It irks me, it bothers me, it bothers that like super talented people don't feel comfortable being in our spaces because
Mhm.
of people like that. And like that's what throws me off about this. I
Yeah,
want
are you able to take this energy and apply it to Diddy?
I'm trying so hard, Sha, like sincerely. Cause like it like so much of my positive, I
Mhm.
feel like is a weird imitation of him dancing in the rain,
Mhm.
like while like I'll Be Missing You is playing. Like that's like so much of my silly is I think mind you, it might have been his serious, but like a lot of
Yeah,
my
yeah, that's what you hate, is that you're seeing a thing and you're like, "Look at this guy, he's dancing
yeah.
around, he's having a good time, yeah, that's how I wanna live," and that's great that you got that out of it, and honestly, I envy that you were not able to pick up on how evil that dude feels. Like good on you, but I also want you to be a little more in tune to kinda pick up on the evil so that you're not having to do this a lot.
Yeah.
But not so much that you don't trust anyone, which is a line I walk. um,
Like like in the I'll Be Missing You, is that like God just trying to put him out? Like, is he just like hot Satan dancing
well,
and
no,
the
it's
rain is just
just
on him?
honestly, that is just like, I mean, how close were y'all? How close were you to Biggie? What?
Like
How?
as a fan
No, like
or
how
him?
close was he to Biggie? Is some of the talk. Some of the
Yeah,
talk is just like, I mean, yo, when this, what the floodgates that are about to open,
real talk.
we're about to learn about, unless they can shut it down, but I feel like the way things are going lately, those
Nah.
doors are buckling. You know what I mean? It may
You
not
think
be a flood, but I mean, we're gonna get a lot of very strong trickles,
mhm,
trickles with a current, you
real
know?
talk.
Um,
Like who's gonna put a muzzle on Mace?
oh,
That
Mace is
dude been
already
itching to talk. Yeah,
Mace, and who's he have a podcast with? Cameron?
Cam. Yeah.
Yeah, he already like, you know
Mhm.
what I mean?
That dude sound more and more like a pastor every week. Yeah, he like, this is just the rapture.
So there are lots of people, and the thing is, what's going to be tough is that a lot of people, a lot of folks are going to be like, "This is just sour grapes. You're just mad because you didn't make it," and blah 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 blah. But I mean, like that guy, I don't know, man. That guy had his fingers in a lot of pies, no pun intended, and allegedly. So, like, it's there are things that could line up for a lot of folks as like, oh, he's the reason that, there's just darkness, and that darkness got into what I was trying to do and squashed it. I could see people saying that and folks being like, that's sour grapes, but who knows? There are a lot of connections. There's going to be so many conspiracy theories. Buy your red thread now, everybody. Get your red string while you can. Clear off a wall. Take down your gallery wall of art and prepare to trace the bad boy situation.
Yeah, yo.
I mean, there people were on in the streets. They're linking this to like Diddy's going to be the one to take the fall, but he's really doing all of this for people like Clive Davis. And I'm like, yo, slow down. Let's slow down. Let's take a beat. Let's take a breath. I'm not going to say that you're wrong or right, but I am going to say, let's have a drink of water. Let's just let's take a deep breath. Let's stop hyperventilating. Let's wipe the foam from our mouth. Let's calm down just a minute.
Man.
And let's deal with this first. Let's deal with the people who are not trying to, who are a pay grade above Diddy. Let's deal with people who were pay grades with Diddy or under. Who
Yeah.
was under Diddy? Let's see what that leads. Let's see, I guess, how far this thing goes. Let's see if he. Oh, the other thing, the street. Yo, man, do we think he was really trying to run to the Caribbean? You think
I mean, yeah. I definitely,
and
yeah,
left
like,
his children at his house?
I mean, the kids thing don't even bother me. I'm gonna be real, because like of all the things that sound the responsible. He's like, yo, they're Americanized. I could pay for sitters. They have co-parents unless they're like the older ones.
Uh huh.
Um, they still have access to enough money to like go to school and stuff,
Yeah, I
as
don't think
opposed to
those
like following him where like
are those kids that young. The
there's a
kids that were
couple of
still
like
there.
I think junior high school, the girls are gotta be
Who
pretty
the
young still.
twins?
Yeah.
Were they the ones that were still at the house? I thought they were the boys.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like if it's the boys, they're like all adults. Like those dudes,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
I didn't. I mean, I'll be
Justin gotta
honest.
be pushing 30. I've been hearing about that dude.
I know, right?
Real time, yo.
Oh gosh.
I don't know how old Justin is, but that dude is not like a kid by any means.
No, that's true. I ate at Justin's restaurant that Diddy had in Atlanta.
Just 30 on the ball, right? Justin Combs.
You
Real talk.
know, I mean, there's just a lot. It is a mess, but also like I mean, that means that Diddy knew it was coming. Diddy was like, okay, I think it's time. Oh, let's go to the Caribbean. You kids stay here. I'll send a whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, see that stuff doesn't throw me off because like if I had Diddy money, I would have a boat ready to go just for fun. Like I would have had that worked out as like a silly side dream one night.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think Diddy is silly. Or I think
Yeah.
what you see is silly, I think he actually means because
Yeah,
you
that's what's
think
throwing me off.
no
Like,
one can be that mean. He's got to be playing. And it's like he's not playing. And he knows that he needs to make it seem silly in order for like everyone for polite society to accept it. Oh, he's just
yeah.
playing. You know, he knows I'm just playing. I'm lighthearted. And he's not. He's never seemed lighthearted to me. I'm like, nah, you mean that. You know, you've met somebody who said something and they're like, I'm just playing. And you're like, no, you're not. That's him. I don't understand it. I
Yeah,
don't know how you don't see that.
because that's all of my friends from Brooklyn. We
That's
always
what I'm saying. I'm not saying that your
everybody
friends are evil. They're hard, right? And so Diddy is hard, but he also means that shit. That's why I'm like, there's a difference. There's a difference between like, oh no, he just jokes differently. And I don't know. I think he could do it. You know, it's a different vibe. And he's never given me a vibe where he's lighthearted.
man.
Even the way that you would think that he's tender with someone seems like he still has his arm around their neck in a damn near a chokehold. Think of him with any woman he's been with, and the way he's hugged up on her is like, yo, she can barely breathe.
Yeah.
That's you can't put your arm around her waist. Why you gotta
That's
put it around her neck? What's that? Nah, nah. So,
Oh man, see, yeah. Oh
yeah,
man,
I know. The hindsight is killing you. I understand. I understand this is your dude, and it is hard. There are artists because you connect to the art so well, and you're just like, I'm having a hard time with it. So you just gotta quietly figure out where you stand with it. And do you want to be loud and like he ain't do that shit, or do you want to be loud and like, oh, he definitely did that shit? Do you want to be quiet and just listen to him on private session on Spotify? You got to figure out, or just play your CDs. You know what I mean? And then
yeah,
just
yo,
shake your head while you're dancing. Just one thug tear while you're while you're doing the East Coast stomp or something. I don't know. However you want to do that.
yo, and like, yo, like this, like everything, every emotion I feel,
Mhm.
like my whole life, whenever I'm like in a really emotional place, I hear music. All the
Right.
songs I hear are Diddy songs.
I
They're
know.
all his songs.
I know.
Oh my god. The first CD I mememorized was No Way Out.
Okay.
Like straight up. It was the first
Yeah.
CD I ever memorized. Second CD I got, my mom bought me uh My Soul by what's his name? The dude from Gangsta Paradise.
Who? Coolio?
Coolio. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She's like, the guy at Coconuts told me this was a good CD. I was like, you got lied to, bro. You know? I
Yo,
was so angry. She-
yo, the lies that parents are told in retail settings, just like, no, the kids like this. They do not.
Yo, like
No, they got a backstock.
real
Oh,
talk, yo. On God, I was like, yo, they had a bet going to see who could sell a
tell it,
Coolio
yeah,
CD
there's
today.
no way.
Yo, you bought Coolio My Soul? Real talk?
I don't even
Yo,
know what was on My
I
Soul.
don't know either. Real talk.
Oh,
It
so
was a
that was
song
like,
where like everybody's like frozen and falling over or like about to be in danger. It was real emo. And that was the single of that album. Really, like, not for me. I'm not a Coolio fan in general. Outside of Gangsta Paradise, I actually vibe with that song. But
uh, okay, let's see. What were the songs? Oh,
yeah, I heard that, and like I had my CD player, 7-second anti-skip protection,
right.
and I was like, "Yo, mom, I can't listen to this CD for more than like 4 or 5 minutes. I got to go buy an album." And I went back and I bought P Diddy No Way Out.
Okay.
Second CD. It was the first CD I bought. Second CD I owned. I memorized it. I've taken pictures with friends in similar front cover poses.
Right. And look, no one can take any of that from you. You still have your memories. Ain't got nothing to do with whatever Diddy's doing. You know what I mean?
Man.
You can have a Diddy, and I put that in quotations. Your quote Diddy end quote can be what he needs to be for you. It does not
Yeah.
have to be Sean Puffy Combs.
That's actually what I'm hoping for. That like that's exactly the inverse of that, but that division. I want to know that the most evil of him happened when he stopped being puffy.
No, that's not it. No,
So that
that's
I could
from the
just love the
heart.
puffy. I could just love the puffy era, and
You think he became evil with Diddy?
I think that he had full access to his resources by Diddy. And
Okay.
most of the stuff we're gonna hear are Diddy forward.
Oh, okay. All
You
right.
know what
You
I
know
mean?
what?
And
I'll give that to you. I'm not
real
going to
talk.
say that he wasn't evil as Puffy,
Yeah, I agree. I think at this point I
but
have to accept he was
but
a
for
bad dude.
what you think we're going to hear out of this is Diddy
Diddy
centric,
forward. Yeah,
Diddy
I think
forward.
Diddy
Okay.
forward, love, all of those dudes, they did all these crimes. So
Okay.
if
All
if I
right.
could if I could get to that, I could at least keep even if I don't even get Puff Daddy, give me Puffy. At least give me the producer. You know what I
Oh
mean? If I
boy.
lose the songs he rapped on, even that, like, it's gonna hurt, but like I get it. I'll just look up songs by the ghostwriters. You know what I mean? I like Source Money. He was cool. You know what I mean? Wow, I'm trying so hard,
I
son.
know. I know. I hey, you know, what's Loon doing? How is Loon doing actually? Is he out? I don't know.
Who knows? Real talk,
Oh
yo.
man.
Everybody looks sane now, yo. Why is Shine still out the country? Like what are these guys up?
Look, Shine. Okay.
Like, yo, did G Dep admit to murder to go to jail to get away from Puffy? Like, that's how crazy the ideas are at this point. You know
Or
what I mean?
did Puffy tell him to do it?
Ooh,
You see what I mean?
everything
Because
makes
there's
it's
a
all
because the
plausible.
woman, because the whole Shine Diddy J-Lo thing, there's a woman who's like, "No, it was Diddy that shot me that night.
Yeah.
Diddy shot me in the face." And I had not heard her story until, a few months ago. Um, but I also had been hearing for years that Shine took the fall for him, and that J-Lo was carrying the gun for him or whatever, and they threw it out. I don't know, whatever the Law and Order version of that is. But but like they pull over on the bridge, they throw it in the Hudson, something happens. But yeah, so like, I mean, I Shine's been screwed for
Ooh,
all of these years, and but he still will show up for him. Oh no, man. This might be a mess. This might be a mess, and there's going to be a lot of stuff trickling out, and we have to be able to figure out like who the sources to listen to. Who is giving us good reporting, and who is saying, "Well, my my cousin's hairdresser's brother said," like, which might be a reputable source. We don't know. What year was he born? Where is he from? He might know.
oh man. I
Um, but I wish you uh all the luck, good luck and help in the world with trying to, and anyone who's in your position. Cuz this is a rough time for this to hit, cuz this is hitting you right around the age when you start to solidify your views, and it takes you a little extra effort to be as open-minded as you were in your youth. You're approaching that age where you're just like, "Hey man, I can't handle new concepts. I'm not in the mood for it." And I mean, that's something that happens to you like in your 40s. And the last time I spoke about this in public was when I wrote a thing about Chappelle going through that. And my mentions were in shambles for a whole holiday weekend. So I'm not necessarily in the mood to get into it. Just Google my name and vulture and you'll see it. But, like, that's a thing that I believe, that it gets a little bit harder to, like, just kinda, like, roll with things, and sacred cows for you are starting to fall. There are things that you believed in, and it's starting to fall apart, and now you're just like, "Nah, well, I still," but that's when you can calcify, or you can
yeah,
just kind of evolve, figure out your rate of evolution. And so I think this is that moment for you. This is a big
yeah,
moment, but, I really wish you peace on trying to, because I mean, it's huge. It really is
yeah.
huge for anyone who has that kind of relationship with them, which is so many people,
Real
you
talk.
know?
I know I'm not alone on this. I know there's a
No.
lot of dudes that like, yo, and like, yo, a few things before we move on to like um the range of DMs that I've gotten related to this from troops and correspondents.
Yo.
From like straight up like empathy of like, yo, I'm sorry, but I gotta send you this. So like to people sending me like voice memos, being haha, take that. Like,
Oh,
yo,
no. Yo, come on, y'all. My man's hurting.
just people just being so kind and so evil all at once.
And that
And-
is what you've got to teach your son about. People are very kind and also very evil.
oh man, that hurt, man. Oh man, Diddy, how could you?
I
Oh
know.
man.
Mhm.
I guess we should cover some other news
I
just
guess,
so
yeah, I know. Yeah, we
I
probably
need like
should.
a palate cleanser, you know.
Let's uh,
Another news: airline passenger says he was served a single banana as the entire vegan meal.
well, this is a change of pace.
That's right, on the airlines owned by Diddy. Passage.
Oh,
Oh man, very few exceptions. The in-flight meals on most airline ranges from slightly better than nothing to slightly better than taking a bite out of the tray. Jesus. In a post on a Flyer Talk forum, Chris Shari wrote about his experience asking other users if they had a similarly underwhelming meal service on a particular route. He was on business class on Japan Airlines from Jakarta, Indonesia to Tokyo, and he says that he was served the banana, one single banana, as the vegan meal. Before takeoff today, my flight attendant confirmed that I ordered a vegetarian vegan meal and that my breakfast was a banana, by which I mistakenly assumed she meant that the breakfast included a banana. When she served the banana after takeoff, I thought it was just an underwhelming appetizer, but it was, in fact, the entire meal service. Although Chari added that the banana was one of the best I've had recently, he still wondered why his meal was essentially a snack. Lunch was barely seasoned spaghetti, and my meat meals on other Japan airline flights were also bad, but nothing was quite as insubstantial as this. It was cute of the crew to serve the banana with chopsticks, though.
okay. Let me
Yeah.
stop you there. I
Oh
think
my god.
what this guy is not really like accepting is how it was one of the best bananas he's ever had.
Yo, real talk. You know,
That's
like that
that's
takes
tough.
skill. I've seen
That's
people
tough.
spend like 5-10 minutes at the banana section at Trader Joe's.
Trying to
Real
find a
talk.
good one, and then you still don't know till you appeal that thing.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Some you debating on, is it worth the extra 10 cents to go with the organic? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, it can be it really is a crapshoot with bananas. You truly don't know until you let them sit and maybe ripen a little bit, but then was it too ripe? Or or did I accidentally buy plantains? Like, who knows? Who knows? But yeah,
Listen,
like, just marinate in the fact that you had one of the best bananas you've had recently.
real talk.
Maybe that's what they're like. They're like, I mean, sure, your vegan meal will only be a banana, but
Why?
have you had all bananas though? Like
You gonna
that
talk about it, I promise you.
like I gotta but real I mean, I would if I had requested a vegan vegetarian meal and they gave me a banana, I'd still be SOL because I'm allergic to bananas.
Oh,
So
no.
now what? Yeah, they make my inside of my mouth break out in hives. I think it might be histamine related. I'm not sure.
Oh,
But I
wow.
know I can't do them anymore and it makes me a little sad. I
Yeah.
I do enjoy a banana. But
That makes me sad for
I
you, Shaw,
think
that's terrible.
I think maybe what I have to do is like if
You're
I
wearing a
cook
shirt
it
with a banana too.
I know, a banana and an orange. I know. So, I mean, I like banana ice cream. You know what I mean? I I still support bananas even if they've turned on me.
Okay.
But
Do plantains do this to you too as well?
I don't really eat plantains.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so much of my diet, those 2 foods right there.
Sure,
Real talk.
sure. Plantains
Okay.
require work and bananas are just a peel and go, and so I was more of a peel and go person, but
Gotcha.
yeah, that just, the inside when I eat it all the way down, it just turns itchy and hives and stuff, so I'm like, "Oh, I can't do that." So, but if I think I've heard that if you cook a banana, there's some sort of chemical or something on it that or a protein that needs to break down
Huh.
once it's, like, mixed with another food stuff. So if I were to even just put it in the milk of cereal, maybe the milk will neutralize it,
Right.
or if something if something happens to it, but I'm like, "Yo, I got it for the peel and eat function." I
You're making this too much now,
Yeah,
you know?
now we're moving into plantain, and that's why I don't fuck with those. So
There's better cooked foods, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Your whole
exactly.
advantage is that you were just good to go,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I'm on the go. I don't have time to bring a
I will
sizzling banana meal with me somewhere.
I
Yeah.
I see your argument more and more now, the more that I think about this article, because like,
Mhm.
this airline served the banana while you were looking at everyone else's meals. Like they
Right.
must have known their banana game was fire.
Right,
You
exactly,
know what I mean? They were
exactly.
like, nah, this all he need is one banana.
Yeah.
Like in the response to like, you tried the banana, right? Okay. Like, you know,
So, what's the problem?
what's the problem? You know what banana we gave you. There's people that eat meat that just saw your banana and was like, nah, take the spaghetti back. I
I
want
want
the
the
banana.
yes, exactly.
Oh man. Respects to the banana picking game over at Japan Airlines right there, yo. They know what they doing, yo. In other news, I am not prepared for life. Millennials blame their boomer parents for not teaching them how to be responsible adults. That's right. A discussion on an online platform has unveiled a shared sentiment among millennials regarding their upbringing by baby boomer parents, specifically highlighting a perceived lack of preparedness for adult life. The conversation, initiated by a 38-year-old woman on Reddit in January, reflects personal experiences and seeks input from others on how they're prepared for life's challenges. Reflecting on her upbringing, the initiator of the discussion noted, when I reflect on how I was parented, I don't remember my parents ever giving me any type of life advice. She said her parents did not teach her how to save money or to appreciate the swift passing of time,
What?
particularly regarding education and personal growth. Her story resonates with a broader experience among millennials, where parental guidance on practical life skills was minimal or absent. Another 38-year-old woman expressed her feelings of unpreparedness, saying, I am not prepared for life. I am finally emotionally mature, but I wasn't taught how to navigate life in terms of being a responsible adult.
But you 38 now. But you 38. You ain't picked none of that up nowhere? Nowhere. Get
Yo,
out
by
of here.
accident, real talk,
Come
just
on.
from talking to people. What is happening? Yo, I was so mad reading this because this is my generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, yo, like, I don't understand what you wanted from your parents. Your parents was out there parenting. They did their
Okay.
part. They got you here alive.
So tell me then, if you're a 15-year-old and you're trying to go out with your friends, but your parents want to sit you down and talk to you about appreciating the passage of time, how are you going to accept that at 15? You ready to have that talk? Get the fuck out of here.
Real talk, yo.
Or do you
Yo,
want to just go past the time and then look back and go, that was nice? Do that. What are you talking about? I can't.
seriously. Yo, every now and then, you talk about cementing my feelings. This is just a feeling I'm cementing more and more. Some of y'all are too woke, okay? Some
I
of
don't
y'all
even
are
think this is
too,
woke. I think they're soft.
yeah, real talk.
I
Like,
think you're soft.
you don't need to be,
Also, I think you have never actually had any problems.
yeah. If this is your first life hurdle at
Right.
38, you're
Yes.
like, yo, it would have been nice if mom and dad sat me down more. No shit. You know who probably thought that? Mom and dad. They
Yeah.
probably wanted to talk with your ass. And you was out leaving. I know I was out. I was listening to Puffy. Okay.
So, he
Real
wasn't
talk.
gonna listen. How you
It
gonna
worked. I
listen?
wasn't gonna listen to mom and dad. I was saying, take that at parties since I've been 14. Okay. I ain't have time for mom and dad to sit me down and tell me about the passage of time
Yeah.
and being in it. I didn't want to hear that. And
Yeah.
I know you didn't want to hear it either. Don't be looking back and reflecting on this different. And it's messed up to call out your parents who are from an era where they don't talk about their feelings because they won't defend themselves in this article. This is all people that are like so comfortable sharing feelings before they really reflected on them. And now
Right.
they're attacking the group that won't do that. They're just gonna grin and be like, these crazy kids. You know what I mean? And keep paying your rent.
I mean, did you observe your parents? Here's what I'm trying to understand. You were just out being a kid and you never kind of watched your parents go through anything and just file it away
Yeah,
so that that would come up. Like when you're dealing with something now, there's not a part of you that pops up that's like, "Hey, remember when your folks or remember when your mom said this or remember when your dad," like that's you haven't tapped into that yet? You're 38. I feel like
yeah.
you should start having those memories, or did you just not pay attention to your parents? Or did you
Mm,
not have any sort of hardship where you needed to see where you had to watch them figure something out? Because
yeah,
let me tell you something. Your parents didn't know what the fuck they were doing. How
yeah.
about that? How are they
They
going to
were
tell you what to do? That's there's a in this article, it says the conversation also touched on the predatory practices of credit card companies targeting college students in the 1990s, a concern shared by multiple participants. Colleges in the 90s would let these companies on campus. They had tables outside of our cafeteria with free giveaways if you signed up, one user recalled, expressing frustration over the lack of oversight and long term financial implication for their peers. Now, I'm someone who went to college in 1990, and my parents talked me into getting a credit card.
Mm.
And I was a little reluctant because I'd watched them. And I was just like, well, how am I going to pay for that? And they're like, just get it. They don't know what they're doing because credit cards, in the way that they knew it with that shit was new to them,
Right.
you know? So, like, what they don't know what they're doing. And at 38, you should be able to look back at what your parents did and go, "Oh, okay, they didn't understand how the game was, or
Yeah.
they didn't understand how this was." And then you can decide from there whether you want to afford them a little grace because of it.
Straight up.
But this whole my parents didn't tell me about the if you don't shut the you're 30. Well, guess what? Sit here and think about it now. Figure it
Hmm.
out now. Oh, also, what are you saying to your kids?
Real
your
talk.
your kids are probably what now? Maybe 8, 10, 12, something like that. What conversation are you having with them? Put your phone down and try to have that conversation with your kid and see if they don't roll their eyes and slam their door.
Real talk, yo. In like 30 years, it's gonna be a whole bunch of posts. My parents kept trying to talk to me about being an adult at the wrong time. You
Yes,
know what I mean? They
exactly.
kept interrupting my YouTube viewing at 8. Talk to me about stuff that was way too age inappropriate.
Just, I'm sorry. I can't. What are you talking about? You're 38. You really should be like figuring this out. You probably should have like gotten to this a few years ago and
Yeah,
not
yo.
be like, why didn't they tell me about the? Because they didn't know. They don't
Yeah.
know.
They
Talk
were
to
just
them now. You're about to lose them.
yeah.
Talk to them now. How about that? That's what you so busy worried about what they didn't tell you before. You about to lose them. You about to know nothing.
Real
Talk to
talk.
them now before they're gone. Because now you've already made it. You got a place to live. They don't have to worry about feeding you and all that kind of shit. They free to talk about whatever. Talk to your
Mhm.
parent. If you are millennial age, talk to your parents now. See how free they are. See how wild they were. And then make the connection of like, oh, this is why they didn't tell me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Give
That
me
dude was
a break.
stressed.
Yeah, you are literally about to lose your parents. Y'all haven't even had that talk yet.
Mhm.
Talk
Get
about
on it.
yeah, it's good. Why are you bringing up bullshit?
Uh, this next article, I got it literally at the perfect time. Puberty makes teenagers' armpits smell like cheese, goat, and urine, according to scientists. Is right.
Oh my.
I got 2 teenagers. I make them shower twice a day. I don't care what time of year it is. Okay. Yo, I'll be standing by the door and I'll be sending kids back. Like, there's no way you cleaned everything. Go. No way. Straight up. My chair is the first chair by the bathroom. Like, impossible. Go back.
Oh
Puberty
no.
makes teenagers' armpits smell like cheese, goat, and even urine, according to scientists in Germany. The particular chemical compounds that make up pubescent body odor have been singled out, and should anyone want to bottle the
Oh, the teenager.
the teenager more usefully, the discovery could help in the creation of deodorants that mask those particular smells. The study compared infants under 3 years old and with 14 to 18-year-olds and found teenagers had two particular chemical compounds that smell of sweat, urine, musk, sandalwood, which were not present in babies. Infants, on the other hand, had higher levels of ketone that smells of flowery and soapy. Oh, rock
Mhm.
on. That makes sense.
Yeah, so that you don't throw that child out the window.
I kind of thought that was dope. I was like, oh, that's ill. Like they know like we've evolved to do that. It's kind of fire. I dig it. I don't know. I every time I hug my kids, I sniff them just to make
Mhm.
sure they're good.
Right.
And I tell them like, listen, you were representatives like of me out there. I can't have you stinking.
But here's the thing, they're about to hang out with a bunch of other teenagers that smell the same way.
It's fair.
They may not know it. They may not smell it.
Yeah, I
And
don't think you do. I definitely know, and even if you smell it, it doesn't bother you the same.
right, right, right.
You know, like I definitely know, like from 14 to like 21,
Mhm.
my room smelled like man in a
Like,
way that,
man?
yeah, like in a way that like I don't think is fair to anyone
Man.
else in that house. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
yo, this is too much in
Mhm.
here. Uh and like every now and then, like it would hit me, and I was like, man, I wonder how many days my parents been dealing with this. Like, I would
Or you go somewhere else and you come home and open the door and you're like, "Yikes."
straight up,
Yes.
I would just
Mhm.
like leave the windows open. I would air everything out. You know what I mean? But like I was like, yo, this is just pungent. Uh, and I felt like I did all the stuff I was supposed to do to be clean.
Mhm.
But yeah, like looking back on it, yeah, I could have doubled up on showers. You know,
But you're still gonna
you
secrete
still
that.
gonna make it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's just a thing that's understood with teenage boys, especially, that it's just
real
going to
talk.
be sweat and, I don't know, emerging hormones, or I'm not sure. I'm looking ahead in this article, and it still doesn't explain it to me. The
Nah,
hormonal changes that occur during puberty are associated with an increase in body odor linked to the activation of sweat glands and the secretion of sebum. I don't even know what sebum is, do I? I think I do, but I don't. The chemical compounds in sweat easily turn into gas, which is then perceived as a smell.
listen.
So, yeah.
And the thing is, all of my friends had like smell related hobbies. Like you play ball, you stink. The
Yeah,
one dude
right.
that didn't play ball had like lizards. You know, like they
Sure.
they shed, and it just that room was always crazy. You know what I mean? It's there's none of us had like hobbies that would make us smell better. You know what I mean? So
So,
yeah.
so how are your kids taking it, when you are just like, "Try again." That will not do.
They get it. They're not thrilled when I send them back. Michaela doesn't like it if I make her go do her hair again, because that's like a process.
Yeah, you
Uh,
can't wait,
but
hold
like,
on. What do you mean make her do her hair again? Like,
because I don't think there's times when like I don't think you cleaned it, and like I was like, yo, like I watched you
okay.
play ball. Like we like yo, you played. We was in the beach. You was out for like 3 4 hours.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Is the we got to get clean. So like I'm like, yo, you got to. I asked Gabby. I was like, yo, is today a hair day? Because Gabby keeps track of that for her.
Right.
Is today a hair cleaning day for her? She's like, yep. I'm like, all right, go in there, and she'll come back out. I'm like, yo, why is your head so dry?
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
we
I'm
gotta
gonna
make moves.
Here's what I'm going to suggest. Um, that they may be approaching an age where you're just going to have to accept that you can't send them back into the shower, because 'cause you're gonna be doing that until they're 21. Do you understand? Like, it's
So
not
about this life. I'm so patient, Sha.
I don't
Uh,
I don't think it I don't think it's going to play in their memory banks the way that you think it will. Do you understand?
okay.
I think that when they start reminiscing,
Yeah.
this particular aspect of y'all's relationship is not going to get a lot of stars.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. That's
So,
fair.
I mean, it's
I
it's a
hug Aiden. I'm like, yo, if I smell your armpits, my G, you gotta
sure,
go back, double up.
right, right.
You know.
I mean,
Sometimes it'll be like his shirt because it's an old shirt,
yes, no,
so you got
right.
to take off the shirt.
Well, your sweat, depending on the reason that you're sweating, will trigger a different sense. Like, my nervous sweat or my scared sweat will make me stink in a completely different way than if I was just exercising, which I'm not entirely sure how that makes me smell because I don't do it. Um but basically, like, yeah, it triggers different smells. So,
Uh,
yeah, that I mean, that's like now. At my big age, that is still the case. And you can also go through hormonal changes where you will change how you smell anyway. Like, this is an ongoing thing.
Yeah,
Like, as someone who is in menopause, I'm like, "Oh, well, now I gotta do everything all different." I
real
had a
talk.
whole routine, and that don't work no more. I do it different now. Yeah, so you may wanna take the science of this particular article to
Yeah,
them and approach it that way. I feel like if you're going to continue to do this, you should approach this in so many different ways that when they do reminisce about this, they will be like, "Dad was crazy. Remember how he used to demand that I rewash my hair?" And then he came up to us with printouts of like
yeah,
of
straight
like
up.
science stuff. And then
Yo, I just be going in their room and just leave like a care package of like cleaning stuff.
yeah.
Like, yo, here's a whole bunch of stuff from like Dr. Squash. You
Oh,
know,
right, right.
do what
Yes.
you gotta do,
Yes,
figure it out.
yeah, I don't know if that's gonna play out how you want. It's funny that you try, but it seems like, according to this article, it is a losing battle. I mean, according to this article, I don't think you're gonna win.
That's fair.
You're not gonna be the one, I think.
If you would like to teach Gastor how puberty works, I'm still trying to learn, okay? All you gotta do is like subscribe to the show, baby. If you're an Apple, Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars, you didn't volunteer. I just showed up at your house with questions. You know,
Yeah, that might be 3 stars, hell.
5 stars, you signed up. Okay, there's a Google sign up sheet. You know what I mean? You're taking turns.
Mhm.
Each one of you showing up to my house once a week, helping me decide when it is right to tell my kids to shower again. Turns out all of you think it's never. If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs this week to Lori McDaniel, Jack Jack U, and FCBLJ. With all that said, I am the going forward. I'm gonna let it slide more than my kids think. I don't want to be the Diddy of showers.
I don't even know what that
I don't even know what
means,
that means either. Okay,
but you don't wanna do it. I
but
feel
I
like
don't
that's
want to do
safe.
it.
I feel like
Real
that's
talk,
safe.
that just feels like the right decision. That feels like a good a statement I could stand behind. You
Okay.
know, Gastor Almonte with the always giving me good advice and the never been the Diddy or anything.
No,
Shalewa Sharpe.
no. I'm the Diddy of hating Diddy. Uh,
Oh man, this has been admittedly the hardest episode I've ever recorded of the War Report. Yo, if y'all real talk, somebody screenshot me at the beginning of this episode and look at how sad my eyes look for like the first 10 minutes, yo. I might not look at that at my parents' funeral. That shit hurt, yo. My eyes been so watery.
oh my god.
Catch y'all. Peace.